The party rebels. Chris?
Well, the intent, they say, is to have a good time, but the price for that good time can often be violence or even death. In an instant, a party scene can turn into a war zone. Tonight, a look at a few casualties. For them, the party's over. The yard is crammed with people. It's a Sunday afternoon barbecue at a Rialto house. It's put on by a party crew called Clash. A crew called the Dogs is here too. Little paws tattooed on their bodies. There is dancing, and there is some heavy drinking going on. Also, a number of people are sucking nitrous oxide from a can.
Drinking, getting a good buzz, all for no problem, no fighting, no nothing. Just come have a good time, kick it with the homies.
But by late afternoon, there is a little skirmish on the patio. A party guy called Mr. Nitro sprays the crowd with nitrous oxide. And later, Mr. Nitro slugs it out with someone on the driveway out front. It's over quickly. And Nitro gets busy again with his nitrous oxide can. A short time later, the guy sucking it in goes out cold. A police car comes around the corner. And his limp body is dragged out of sight until he recovers a half hour later. Shortly afterwards, after we have been told to leave, a virtual riot breaks out in front of the party house. One area resident would later describe it as mad dogs gone nuts. One group with the Clash appears to be defending the yard. The other, the Dogs, attacking from the street. Rocks fly. The crowd scrambles, a neighbor later describing it as a war zone. By the time a fleet of cops gets here, it is almost over. It is not unusual when a party crew bash sets off a chain of violence. Derek San Miguel, who headed up a party crew called Operation X, always preached against the gang mentality that spawned violence. Gang members shot and wounded 11 people at one of his parties back in 1992, and Derek pled for sanity.
If everyone just would stop gangbanging and have a good time, it would be better.
Derek says his mother loved life and mixing with all kinds of people. He had turned his energy toward promoting legal clubs in Hollywood. But Derek was beaten and shot to death by gang members last July when passing out promotional flyers at a house party in East Los Angeles. Viviana San Miguel is heartbroken.
Derek didn't deserve that way to die. He was too good.
Mrs. San Miguel is left with a memorial to her son in the family living room. He was only 21. Eddie Perez was a popular, strong, good-looking kid who loved to make people laugh. His nickname was Clown. He headed up a party crew called Rescue 911. His sister, Estella, says Eddie kept neighborhood kids out of gangs and tagging.
There's like young kids that tried getting into his rescue, and the thing that he wanted was for them not to be in gangs.
But one rainy night after a party, Eddie flipped his Jeep, and 16-year-old Omar Jimenez, a teenager Eddie got out of tagging, was killed in the accident. George Martinez, a rescue member and friend, says the accident changed everyone's life.
We never lost anybody close to us, and that basically hurt everybody and everything. It made us realize, what are we doing? Is it worth it?
Eddie says his family blamed himself for the accident, and 1.5 years later, shot himself in the basement of his family home. His mother is still shedding tears.
Because I hear everybody here. Yeah, I want Eddie. No Eddie.
Eddie Perez was only 22. Marty Garcia, better known as Marty Beat, is a young man who put out a magazine called Street Beat. He says during the few years he covered the party scene, he must have gone to 30 funerals. He says he doesn't want to go to any more. Young people who crave the sometimes reckless party atmosphere have it within their power to try to make sure that doesn't happen.